What's up, YouTube? Tatted Gamer Nerd here. This video actually is something I've been meaning to make for quite some time. Um, Especially since I had that green screen video. A lot of people have been asking me how to set up, their computers to stream, and you know, this is gonna be a little bit of a how-to. With me today is my buddy Amga from Israel. Man, you wanna say what's up?
Hey guys, how are you?
Alrighty. He is going to be streaming, hopefully pretty soon, under the twitch.tv/NerdsNCoffee channel. Um, until, he wants to, branch off into, his own personal channel or, continue streaming for the Nerds and Coffee channel. It's totally up to him. But, hopefully we can help him get, a good little viewer base and some followers and uh, some some movement into his streaming endeavors. But streaming, real quick, really, really, I don't know how else to explain it. Pretty easy once you actually get your fingers into it. I use the Open Broadcaster software. Now, a lot of people use XSplit, which they are very similar programs. One is paid, one is free. I'm using the free one, not simply because it's free, but because it's a little bit, for me, it's easier to use. And we're going to go over some settings and some expectations on how to set up your stream. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and move forward. All right. First things first. You have your computer. You need to make sure you have um, pretty good internet. You have to have an internet connection that has quality upload speed. And when I say quality upload speed, because your upload speed is exactly, or the actually main factor of, how do I explain, of what quality you're going to be, displaying to your viewers. So, in my case, let's go ahead and check it out right now while we're doing it. I use testmy.net, and then you can check out the test my upload speed. Let's go here, select size. Always go for the bigger size when you do the upload speed test because it gives you a more true to the fact number. So while that's loading, for your computer purposes and specs that you should be looking for is I'm gonna give you, be pretty blunt up front. Dual core, you know, Centrino, Pentium laptops. A lot of these, you know, how I say, laptop or mobile computers are not equipped or cannot
Low core.
handle the cannot handle the stress that streaming puts on a system because basically, like in my system, I use an i7 3770, K processor chip, and while I'm streaming, I'm using almost 50 to 70% of that processor while streaming. It's pretty processor intensive. I learned this the hard way when I first started trying to stream. I first started trying to stream back back in January with my MacBook Pro. Well, you know, being the noob that I was way back when, the MacBook Pro told me that I had an i7 Ivy Bridge processor. However, it was the dual core mobile version of that Ivy Bridge processor, um, which any dual core computer, not necessarily I'm saying you cannot do it, but it's not going to work out to the best, best quality, best view for your viewers. Now, my testmy.net upload has just finished. I'm sitting at 4.5 megabits Mbps, which is around the speed that you want if you want to stream maybe 1080p or it's easily 720p. But we'll get to that point in a little bit. Um, we're talking PC specs, so with your PC, you're looking for maybe a quad core processor, anything pretty much i5 and up, i5, i7, Sandy Bridge, Ivy Bridge. Um, I want to say 2500 on up are going to be your best bet to get the better quality streams or better stream in general. So I went with something that at the time was the top of the line on the market. Now they have the i4 7770. Today we're working with Amga. He has the i5 3450 or 3470.
70. 3470.
3470. Okay, he's
By
using
the way,
eight.
the 4770 doesn't have a lot of difference between the 3770.
Yeah, it's
They
like
only upgraded the GPU or something like that.
yeah, it's like onboard graphics and if you're a person building like a budget computer, that's right up your alley. But if you're somebody that's going to go for a gaming computer or anything that's maybe um, you're going to be doing Photoshop or video editing or something of the sort, you're not going to be worrying about onboard graphics. You're going to be worrying about getting a dedicated graphics card or maybe even two dedicated graphics cards. Um, let's pull up settings
You can
here.
save up real big with it because the motherboards of the Haswell are pretty
hmm
expensive.
Oh, you know what? Here, my area, they have actually gone down in price where you can actually buy like I have an Asus Sabertooth motherboard in my computer, and the Asus Sabertooth for the new uh fourth gen chips are now similarly priced. All right.
Are they?
Yeah,
For me, it's
it's
at least $100 more.
yeah.
Well, combined, I mean, for the 4770 and the compatible motherboard.
Right, right. Cool. See, but you live overseas, man. You live in Israel. I think you guys pay way, I guess there's a big increase in prices, for you guys
Yeah,
over
it's
there.
Europe, man.
Yeah.
Though I
So,
did spoke to Newegg, and because I'm in the army, they are
hmm
willing to ship to APOs. So who knows?
oh wow, that works out perfectly then.
Yep. All right, here
Cool
we go.
beans. All right. So, talking about PC specs, I mean, do your research. I mean, you can go to the XSplit if you're going to be using XSplit. XSplit has a website where you can actually go on their forums and talk with other XSplit users and see what settings that they actually use. I'm going to be talking about settings that I use here in OBS or Open Broadcaster software. Now, XSplit is more automated. OBS is more, you got to enter in your own parameters. So we'll talk about that. So let's go on here. When you get into OBS, it's gonna be kind of like alienish. You're gonna look at it, you're like, what does all this stuff mean? You know, where do I get this information? Uh, where am I gonna put all this? Where am I gonna put um, all this information into? Right. So we talked about computer specs. You know, do the research. If you can get the better graphic, the better CPU, um, the better GPU. The graphics card isn't, technically necessary. You don't need to have the best on the market, but it's recommended that you have one that is above par. And I believe, Amga has a pretty solid one in the NVIDIA 660 Ti overclocked edition. I have the GTX or the 670. Um, I don't know if it's overclocked or not. I don't know if it matters or not, but nonetheless, we both have adequate enough GPUs to be live streaming, recording, for upload for YouTube, which is what I've been doing a lot lately, which is how you're watching this video. Let's go through the list here. General settings, English or your language of choice. Setting profiles. Now you can actually change it to where you can have several different profiles. Say maybe you stream on several different channels. Maybe you have a setting for a profile for YouTube, and you have a profile for your live stream. This is where you'll get into that. Right now, I use one specific profile, so I don't have anything uh, to change it to. The next one down, though, this is going to be where it gets complicated, and you're going to be like, Mav, what are you talking about? Okay. Now, if you're streaming on Twitch, and this is Twitch specific, Twitch is not going to allow you to have anything bigger. I'm going to go for audio first. Anything better than 128 bit rate at MP3 codec. Uh, I'm sure they'll allow other things, maybe AAC, or maybe you can get up to 320 or 256, but the sweet spot right now is MP3 at 128 bit rate, which is still pretty good. I mean, if you're an audiophile, you're an audio head, yeah, you're going to want to go for the higher bit rate because you're going to get more clear, more quality sound. That's not something that, you know, and well, at least for my stream and my videos that I need yet. I'm not producing music videos. I'm not, doing anything of the sort. I'm doing this, for my own entertainment, for my viewers and my subscribers. Now, video encoding. You're going to want to go ahead and make sure you check off the top two boxes. Use CBR, I think it's custom buffer rate, and enable CBR padding. So I would check off both those boxes. Are you in there right now?
I'm here.
No, are
You
you
want
on the
to enable or disable them?
enable of them? Yeah.
All right, enabled.
hmm And then also check off the box or enable the box for use custom buffer size. At least this is how my settings
Got it.
are. Now, my settings are going to be a little bit different because my upload speed is a little bit different than what Omga has, but they're not going to differ by that much. Right now, my max bitrate is at 2500 kbps or kbs or 2500 max bitrate, and then also 4000. That number 4000, I should change. It's not really needed. The max bitrate is a number that you're gonna want to make sure that you pay more attention to. So on your end, with your current settings, especially if you're going to have the 3 Mbps upload, you're going to want to have about 2000 in that area. Now, 2000 is giving him enough room if he has 3 Mbps or 3000, you know, kbps, I believe it's called. If he has 3000 kbps, he's going to want to have some playroom. And when I say playroom, is that, you know, you want to have a little bit of extra room to, you know, make sure that your audio is getting captured correctly and not lagging your video behind, or maybe something else is going on your computer at the time. So I would set your max bit rate to 2000 and your buffer size to 3000.
All right, done.
All right. Now these settings are change, like these are dynamic. You're gonna change these based on your internet speed. Now, if you have a 2 megabyte per second upload, then you should probably put it anywhere between 1000 to 2000. Um, and that stream will anywhere be between anywhere between 40p to 720p. Now with Omga's settings at 2000 to 3000, he'll be able to stream at 720p, which is idealistic for Twitch, unless you're a partner with Twitch and you can actually stream 1080p without having to worry about all the, you know, the red tape that they have set up now. In
They do have
video,
something new though. From time to time, I see people who has you can't really choose the resolution. It just says source.
that's the red tape I'm talking about. Um, and the reason and why I say this is that Twitch is actually trying to uniform streams. They're trying to make the streams uh, all the same. So, if you go from one person stream to the next person's stream, it's going to be the exact same. Like, you're not going to have to worry about, if your computer can handle watching your stream. Because when I used to stream at 1080p, a lot of my viewers would tell me, "Hey, man, the video's laggy for me. I can't really watch it. It's jumpy. You know, this is what Twitch, took into consideration. Says, hey, you know what? Let's make it universal. Let's do this for everybody. So if it says source, what they're saying is that that's coming directly from the computer, what the computer is putting out. So if you're watching my stream and you see source, my OBS is putting out, we'll get to that part, but 720p or 1080p. It doesn't actually tell you what actual um, uh, you know video quality. How do I explain it? What actual video quality you'll be watching, but you'll see it. You'll get to see like, hey, this looks really you know really nice. All right, so with this page, if you have questions about encoding on based upon what max bit rate you should go with, what buffer size you should go with, hit me up in the comments below. I'll try to help you out as much as possible. But this is specifically internet specific and also computer specific. So since I know his computer's capable, I know his internet is going to be capable to handle, the max bit rate of 2000. We're going to go ahead and move forward to the next one, broadcast settings. Broadcast settings is great. This is where you get to have fun. If you're uploading for YouTube, or if you're streaming for Twitch, or if you're streaming for Ustream, or if you're streaming for whoever you're streaming for, it doesn't really matter. This is your tab. Right now, I'm in file output only mode because of the fact that I was recording videos for Outlast. But let's go ahead and go into live stream mode. Under live stream mode, you're going to have a whole new set of options. Okay? You're there right now, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so under live stream mode, you have live stream, streaming service. You can actually select Twitch/Justin TV, since it is one of the top, one of the top, streaming sites out there, at least for gamers. So make sure you select just Twitch/Justin, because right there OBS is going to automatically configure itself to stream correctly for you into Twitch. And we're going to get back to the part where I was talking about, the red tape, having uniformity amongst, streams, especially non-partner streams on Twitch, and why they did that. And that's a really detailed conversation that I want to do at the end of this video. Uh, the next one is going to be your server. Don't fill that in. You don't have to worry about that. That's going to be automatically selected for you, or you can select it yourself if you want to, whichever one fits your needs. Um, Mine says Dallas, but I live in San Antonio. I don't know why, but it chose Dallas for me. I guess Dallas has a better Twitch server base than San Antonio does. Now,
Well, I
play.
live in Europe, so should I probably select something in Europe?
I would leave it alone for now, because I think it'll actually once you get through setting this up and start streaming, it'll choose one that's the best for you.
All
I
right.
know, yeah, I know in XSplit chooses the one that's the best for you. Like you don't even get to choose which server you're on; it just chooses it for you. As
Mine
well,
chose US West San Francisco.
there you go. As well as play path and stream key, if any. This is going to be for, especially for your Twitch streamers. This is all these dots is my stream key. So the reason why I put this, the reason why it's actually encoded in dots is because if you had my stream key, then you could stream on my channel, or you can stream or actually this one's the Tatted Gamer Nerd channel. So right there, and I'll show you where to get that on Twitch, because a lot of people are like, well, where do I get my stream key from? Really easy. Actually, let me do that right now. Show you. Let's see. On Twitch, let's pause this out. Let's go down here. Down, down, down. Become a broadcaster. They actually give you the the baby steps on how to do this. It's really easy. I mean, everybody can do this. Get started. Okay. Now, Twitch quote unquote says they support XSplit, Wirecast, Flash Media Encoder. XSplit paid, Wirecast paid, Flash Media Encoder free. However, Flash Media Encoder really bad. It's probably one of the worst programs I've ever used ever. Why? Yeah, Wirecast, $500 price tag one time, I believe. Maybe I don't know if it has continued support after that, but I know you do pay $4.95 up front to use the paid version unless you want to have a version that is watermarked with it says Wirecast and it'll say this is brought to you by Wirecast. It's really ridiculous. Wirecast is actually for those of you who stream from a MacBook or a Mac Pro or an iMac. That's something that you would be looking into. These two options, Wirecast and Flash Media Encoder. XSplit and Open Broadcaster Software OBS, those two specifically are Windows only. So you can, it actually has a link here. Now, OBS does work, guys. Don't, I have a lot of people say, well, how are you using OBS to stream? To stream, I'm all, because it works. It's a program. Actually, if somebody came out tomorrow and, you know, had a new, broadcasting software, that meets the criteria, you can use that too. It doesn't matter what you use. It just matters if it's, you know, if it adheres to Twitch's, um, red tape, and we'll get there. So I'm not going to click show key because if I click show key, then I have to reset it after this video, and that's not something that I want to do. So on your end, you can click show key. You can copy that long alphanumeric number and paste it into your OBS settings.
All right, done.
Okay. There's the next one down. Auto reconnect. Do you need to do this? I don't. If I get kicked off of streaming, like there's a reason for some reason I get kicked off of streaming. Maybe Twitch kicked me off because of their server lags or something happened. I don't want to auto reconnect. I want to reconnect myself. A lot of people like to auto reconnect. They don't want to miss a beat. They want to make sure they get back to their viewers. In my case, I know how to, restart my stream on the fly, so that's not something that I use. So I leave it unchecked. But if you check it, the next one down, auto reconnect timeout, if your actual stream gets disconnected, you can have a specific amount of time to reconnect. So you can actually set it to 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. What's funny is the next two I don't really know too much about, or the delay is this also goes along with auto reconnect, or the delay actually, mind you, let me correct myself, is once you click start streaming on your open broadcaster software, um, it'll wait 5 seconds. Now this is most important for you first person shooter, uh, Call of Duty, Halo, Daisy players out there, because if you are streaming in real time or you're streaming, without a delay, you're gonna be camped. You're gonna be spawn killed. You're gonna, people are gonna be able to find you where you're at and take you. Especially Daisy. Daisy being the game that it is, like you're looking for people or you're looking, for loot or whatever. You're gonna want to have a good delay. Like, a fellow streamer by the name of King Kongor, I think he had a 60-second delay or maybe a 5-minute delay. I don't remember what it was, but he did that because while he was streaming DayZ, he was getting destroyed because people were able to find him immediately and kill him because there was no delay on his stream. So, with that being said, that's why you would want to have a delay. For me, I don't stream games where I'm worried about being killed or not, so I don't have a delay. New to OBS is minimize network impact, which go ahead and check that off. That means you're helping out, um, not take up too much bandwidth or too much space on Twitch, on the network, so other people can stream, which makes it much you know nicer for everybody else, who is trying to stream and gets a laggy stream or a laggy connection or laggy server. So this is something you would go ahead and check off. Dashboard link, if any. Quite honestly, I have no idea what that means. It's not important because I don't use it, so it must not be important for me to know. Start stream hotkeys and stop stream hotkeys. I use this because I like to be able to, if I have something going on, that's an emergency, I can stop my stream at the, click of a key, or I can start my stream at the click of a key, which is, pretty good. You know, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be using page up or page down for, you know, gameplay, but if you are, you're really utilizing your whole keyboard. But page up and page down is perfect for my starting and stopping of my stream. And you can also clear this and keep it blank and just do it manually. So keep that in mind.
What did we say about the minimized network impact? Should I
Yeah, go ahead.
check it or not?
Yeah, go ahead and
Alright,
check.
checked.
Go ahead and check it off. All right, video. This is where it gets fun. Video. Under video, there's a video adapter. It actually lets you know what's your graphics card that you're running here. And like it says, mine says NVIDIA GeForce GTX 670. And it also lists my NVIDIA GeForce GTX 650, which is my designated physics controller. But that's not the video adapter that I'm using to stream, or I'm actually running all my graphics through, so that's just listed there because it's installed on my system. So you don't have to change anything there. It should automatically show, like especially in your case, Omga, it'll show GTX 660, right?
Yes, it is.
Mm.
660 Ti.
All right. Below that, base resolution 1920 by 1080, and if you have a different type of monitor, maybe you have a older CRT monitor or a different resolution monitor, change your custom resolution to the monitor standard settings. So my monitors are all 1080p monitors, so I keep it at custom 1920 by 1080. Let's see. Here's this is what I was talking about, the fun part. Resolution downscale. When I record for YouTube, I don't downscale. I leave it at 1080p because I want to make sure when I upload to YouTube, it's the best quality that I can upload. So I leave it at none for YouTube purposes. Now when I'm streaming, it's a different story. I drop it down and I look for the 720p and I click that because this right here helps, my viewers that do not have um, good internet connections. They can use the 720p. The 720p stream is much better for them, and they don't have a laggy stream. It's actually, helps retain your viewers, guys. If you have a bad stream, you have a laggy stream, nobody's gonna stay there and watch it. Remember this. Who wants to sit there and watch you say one word every 5 seconds? It's just not gonna happen. So, for recording purposes, 1080p of course. For streaming purposes, I drop it down to 720p. So that's my mantra. That's what I do. Now, a lot of people like to stream in 1080p and say, hey, you know what? If your computer can't handle it or your internet can't handle it, oh well. You know, I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that wants to make sure that if you come to my channel, you're gonna be able to watch my gameplay or whatever I'm doing without having to worry about lagging out. Filter, um, it's not highlighted here. I think if you go down to 720p, you can actually choose a different filter. Yeah, you can choose different filters: bilinear, fastest, and there's a bicubic and Lanczos best. best detail or whatnot, which I should probably start using if I do 720p. But that's neither here nor there. This is how to start streaming. So uh, I would leave that alone for now. FPS, frames per second. Now, I guess it's, factually speaking, if you're recording for YouTube, YouTube doesn't take anything over 30 frames per second. I mean, you can record in 60 frames per second, but does it mean anything? No, it's going to reduce it back down to 30 frames per second anyway. So, record in 30 frames per second if you can, or record higher if you want. It's up to you. I mean, if you record in a lower FPS or frames per second, you have a smaller upload file. So, at this point, I'm recording in 30 frames per second because this is not a gameplay video. If it was a gameplay video, I'd probably have it set at 45 or 60, just because I want to make sure that I, capture the gameplay footage in better detail. So for yours, are you good to go on this area, Amga?
Yeah, I've set it up to 30. See how this goes, and we'll move up if I can.
Cool. Now audio is going to be different for everybody. Your desktop audio device, microphone auxiliary audio device. My case, it's the same for both. I'm using my headset to hear and to talk. So it's always going to be considered the Logitech G930. So I have it set up there. If you want to have, you know, something else as a microphone, maybe you have a standalone microphone. Maybe like you have like say one of these blue snowballs or a blue Yeti or a studio microphone that you want to have clear sound. And this is for you audiophiles. Like I think my voice sounds perfectly fine using my headset. So for the people that like to have uh the standalone microphones, or maybe you know and this is an example because I have a buddy that has headphones that he really, really likes to listen through, but they don't have a microphone. So, of course, he's going to need a microphone uh, on the side. So, in my case, I use the same thing for both. Um, I don't know about you, Amga. I mean, that's uh, something that you would play around with, but, you know, desktop audio device. Now, the lowdown on this, when you set this desktop audio device to your G930 headset or whatever speaker set you want to set it to, remember what you hear is what the recording captures. So if you can hear it in your headset or if you can hear it on your speakers, it's going to be recorded in your video or it's going to be live streamed. So be careful, guys, with the microphone especially. Now, on my headset, obviously my headset has a microphone, but with the Logitech G930, or I'm sorry, with the microphone portion, you know, what you set this to is what's going to be picked up. So make sure, you choose wisely and, you're not recording something that may be damaging to you in the future. You can also have push to talk. Also, if you want to be, have push to talk, maybe you have a lot of background noise, you have a lot of, people in your house, or you have a party going on. You can click off push to talk, set up a, buttons to press to activate the microphone mode, so you're not recording audio. Cool. I don't need that. I'm not using that. I don't know anybody else who does. So I would just leave all that blank. Now, mute, unmute for mic and desktop hotkey. I don't have this set up because if I need to mute something, I actually go to OBS. And I'm going to show you guys the OBS screen here in a little bit. I'm just showing you settings screens right now because this is, the brains of the operation. So if you want to set up a mute and unmute for your mic and desktop, and when I say desktop, that means what you hear is what they hear. Um, by all means, configure it with a button there. Now, below that, force microphone auxiliary to mono. I leave it unchecked because I don't know what it means. It hasn't changed anything in the way I stream, in the way I handle things, so I wouldn't worry about that. Alright, let's keep going. Desktop boost, microphone, auxiliary boost. I have mine set to 1. Is yours set to 0, Amga? For the
Oh, sorry.
for the desktop and
Uh,
microphone boost? Is yours
I
set to
have I have one
and 1, right?
desktop boost is set to one, and microphone boost is three. That's the default that the OBS came with.
I would leave it alone. I mean, I wouldn't change that. Mine says 1 and 1, but that was just the way it did it for me. So I would leave it be. I mean, I'm not gonna try to give too much information on that because I don't know. And I'll be honest with you guys. If I don't know what it means, I'm not gonna mess with it. And so far, so good. We're good to go. Now, last but not least, the advanced tab. Now, on the advanced tab, this is where for you Twitch streamers, you're gonna wanna actually pay attention here. Um, Go ahead and, I mean, if it's not already enabled, it should already be enabled, but it says check off use multi-threaded optimizations. Okay, I have mine set process priority class to normal. You can change it if you want, OBS to take precedence over other programs on your computer, which may be beneficial, maybe not, and maybe having that as above normal or high might help improve your recording capabilities. I keep mine on normal. I think that's what it's set at normally, right? Is yours set at
I
for
have
normal?
well, actually, mine is high, but I believe it was normal because I had OBS before and I did mess around with it. If I remember correctly, it was on normal.
No worries, no worries. Scene buffering time. That's something I didn't change from the from default settings, so I would leave it at 400 milliseconds. Allow other modifiers and hotkeys. That's also something that was checked off from before. Um, I would go ahead and everything that I have here is what OBS has out the box. So I didn't change any of this stuff, guys. This is all pretty much the same. The only thing I did change is this um, video under the 264 CPU preset. I don't know if it's set to very fast. I think it is set to very fast, but if it's not set to very fast, set it to very fast. It works out for you. Keyframe interval. Now, with Twitch and their red tape and their uniformity, they gave us, or they gave the streamers fair notice saying, hey, your keyframe interval needs to be at 2 or less. Anything higher than 2 is not going to be considered excellent quality. If you're actually higher than 2 keyframe intervals, and I'll explain what this means, um, you're not. I don't think you'll be included on the Xbox application or the mobile application if your stream is popular enough to get to those platforms. So for this one, make sure you enter 2 in for keyframe interval. Now, when I say 2, that means you're gonna double your frames per second. So my frames per second right now is at 30. Okay, so I'm using a custom 264 encoder setting at key int equals 110. Now that means I was actually streaming at 55 frames per second or recording at 55 frames per second. So if earlier in video I had 55 frames per second here, under my advanced tab, my key int, this little formula or key int equals would be 110. Technically speaking, I should have key int equals 60. I leave it at 110 because I do bump it up to 55 frames per second um, when I'm recording gameplay footage. So I leave that alone. As well, you don't have to do it. You can actually uncheck this box and how do I say it? Let's make it easier. If you leave the box unchecked and just use the keyframe interval of 2, OBS does it for you automatically. I just like to mess around with it because that's just what I did. So in your end, do you have that option? Because it depends. Like, oh, if you didn't update OBS, that option isn't there for you to actually enter in keyframe interval. Do you have that?
Yes, I do. It says that O is automatically,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
it was set to O,
change it
but
to
I
2.
changed it to 2 right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got it.
under custom 264 encoder settings, don't worry about that. Leave that unchecked. Everything else will be unchecked from here on out. So, once you have very fast under the CPU preset, keyframe interval to 2, and then OBS will take care of everything else for you.
What is your encoding profile? Is it set to high or main?
Encoding profile? What do you mean?
Just above the keyframe interval.
Oh, I have it at very fast. Wait a minute. I don't see what you're saying. Keyframe interval.
No, right below it. Just between the keyframe interval and the CPU preset. I have an option that says encoding profile,
hmm
and I have two choices, main and high.
Oh, it's a good question, man. I have no idea. Well, I'll have to make an update video for that one. I don't have that option.
Oh, you do? Alright. Because I
Yeah.
downloaded the new OBS just about like an hour ago.
Ah. Yeah, I don't have that option. Well, if you have that option, guys, I'll answer that question in the comments below once I look at it later. But at this point, keyframe interval is 2. That's a setting by Twitch's standards. Now, if you're not worried about Twitch and you're not streaming on Twitch, don't worry about that. Leave that alone. Don't even pay mind to that. But that 2 is what Twitch wants you to be at. Okay, let's click OK because all of our settings are done now, and we're good to go. There's a microphone noise gate, but it's a little bit more into audio settings and stuff that I have no clue about. So let's move forward. Now I'm gonna bring the OBS screen over into my main screen. It's gonna look kind of funny because it's gonna show you all of me in about 45 screens. Okay, now let me see. I take off monitor capture. There you go. With OBS, you have scenes and sources. Okay, scene is going to be what you can switch between if you wanted to change things up. Like say I go to this scene and it shows me right here this information. You can't see this yet. I'm going to see the YouTube video, but you can actually change it up. In XSplit, you have little buttons which are considered your scenes, and in each button you can configure what sources you have in there or what files you have in there. So in my case, I'm using Twitch, which is I label my scene as Twitch. I made a new one called Twitch, and then under sources, I added all the stuff in here to actually start streaming. Mainly, you're going to want to say, hey, I want to monitor capture, which is I'm capturing my middle monitor right here. You can see this right here. This is my middle monitor. I'm capturing that monitor. So let's come back to OBS. Let's turn that off, monitor capture. And below that, actually, I guess I would have to keep that on because you can't see it. It's going to be kind of hard for you guys to see it, maybe. I don't know. Monitor capture and then game capture for the live streamers. For the live streamers, game capture for games that you can't just monitor capture. And I have an example. I've been playing Outlast. I can't use monitor capture source, I have to use game capture source. And I'm good. We'll talk about this offline on how it works out for you. But for game capture, if I click on that and I move OBS off a screen, let's move it over here, and I go into the game, now you can see that I'm playing Outlast behind me, right? And this is for the YouTube video. But that's the only way I can actually, get Outlast into OBS for streaming purposes and recording purposes. Now, if I wanted to play, like, say, World of Warcraft, Diablo 3, Hearthstone, or whatnot, I'm using monitor capture. Okay. Now, let's go back over here. Let's bring this over here. Under monitor capture, as you can see, I'm capturing everything that's in this middle monitor and then some. So you got to be careful. If something pops up that you don't want people to see and you're live streaming, you got to be careful with that monitor capture. That's why they have the game capture source. Okay? So once you have one of your sources set up to capture your gameplay, you're 50% of the way there. Everything else is aesthetic, like, this Alamo City Comic Con logo, or my @TattyGamerNerd Twitter tag, or this Curse Union for Gamers, or this NerdsNCoffee logo. These are all sources, quote unquote, that I added in, which is just basically, when you say source, it just means something you're adding into the stream or into the screen region, which is this whole region right here, to make your stream look, better. Like, maybe I want to have a scrolling text at the top. There you go. There's a scrolling text. Let's take that off. Or maybe I want to add this picture in there, and there's a picture. You can't see it, but there it is. That looks pretty cool. Let's see what else is there. You can add whatever you want. You can have a message display when you say you have to take a break. You put a message up. And there's checkboxes, and these checkboxes make it so user friendly that you just click it on and click it off. Like, say I want to take my webcam off and not have my video up because I don't want people to see what I look like, so I turn that off. Now you don't see me. I'm not here anymore. Okay, so between your scenes and sources, it's intimidating at first. I know it is. I mean, I've been there and done that, guys. Like, I started streaming, um, solo, without really anybody having, uh, or anybody helping me out. So this video is to help you guys out, and it's actually rather long. I didn't realize I'm going this long. It's almost an hour. Um, where am I at? So your scene is scenes that you can set up that, how do I how do I say it? Uh, fit your need. Maybe you have Twitch scene and everything that you use for a Twitch live stream, but you want to switch over to a different background, such as, oh, you guys can't see it. Oh, I guess you can. You can see it on the YouTube video. I want you guys to see this instead while I'm doing something else, or switch back. OBS has it, I mean, not OBS, but XSplit has it nicely done where you can actually just click on buttons, which looks better, but I like being in control of seeing what is in each scene and having a nicer user interface, to me at least, than OBS does. So I only have technically one scene and all my sources under that one scene, which if I click it on and off for my needs. Like, normally I record all my videos and I record all, I live stream with the Alamo City Comic Con logo, and I always live stream or record with the Tatted Gamer Nerd logo. I always live stream or record with my NerdsNCoffee or Curse Union for Gamers logo. You know, um, when I'm recording for YouTube, I don't have a scrolling text for stream. I have a scrolling text at the top to help people know, to inform people of the YouTube channel or raid call or stuff like that. So if you have questions on how all that works, hit me up in the comments below. Or come by my live stream. I'm always streaming, guys, under Tatted Gamer Nerd or twitch.tv/Tatted Gamer Nerd. You can catch me on Twitter. You can catch me on Facebook. Facebook.com/NerdsNCoffee, NerdsNcoffee, or Twitter.com/TattedGamerNerd, or Twitter.com/NerdsNCoffee, or you know all these other places you can get a hold of me. Or you can come by my raid call. My raid call is listed on my Twitch page. I'm always here, and if you have questions, come by and ask me. Um, Amga's a good one of my good friends here, and I wanted to make sure that I help him get set up so once he starts streaming, it's a smooth transition for him. And I figure why not make a video at the same time. Um, what else is there? Do I need to cover anything else? Let's see. Do you have questions, Amga?
No, I believe that's pretty much it.
If you guys have questions, once again, hit me up in the comments below. I'll do my best to keep checking on them and answering them as we go. Um, you may have a question about why it looks like I'm inside the game and how come it doesn't look like you're inside the game. Well, I have a video about that. It's actually how to use a green screen. Make sure to check that out. But if you actually look here, I can turn it off. Give me a second. If I turn it off, all you see is green behind me. There you go. Big green sheet. But I like the way it looks with me being inside the game, especially when I play Outlast. My Outlast videos are pretty cool because it looks like I'm inside the horror game, and then I get all scared and jump and stuff. Anyways, that's me babbling. Uh, Thank you guys for being, for coming by this video. Thank you, Amga, for hanging out with me today. What else is there? And shout out to Curse.com, Union for Gamers. Alamo City Comic Con coming up on October 25th through the 27th. And make sure to subscribe, like, comment if this video helps you out. If not, click that dislike button. Let me know. I mean, if I didn't go over something, I mean, that's also an option, guys. Um, and hopefully, I hope you guys become the next Swifty or the next Athene or the next Wreckful or whoever. Um, as for me, Tata Gamer Nerd signing out. I'm good. You want to say bye to the good people over here at YouTube's?
Yeah, thank you guys for being with us. As Mev stated before, I'm gonna be streaming on his channel on Nerds and Coffee, and hopefully later on I will be moving to my own channel called Alpha and Omega, not Omega. Don't get confused. I'm Omega. I'll try to get in contact with AMD and other companies. Hopefully they will support me and send me some equipment I can get to you. We'll do some giveaways and check us out. Peace.
Adios, guys. Later.